Hey guys, I'm Nick and welcome back to the channel. Or if you're new here, please smash that subscribe button for all the latest Star Trek Discovery news. So today I'm going to talk about some new promo photos that CBS has released to promote episode 4 entitled Forget Me Not. There's about 14 new photos to go through. We're going to have a look at those. And this episode sounds quite interesting. The synopsis for episode 4 of Discovery Season 3 basically says, in Forget Me Not, Burnham and Adira visit the Trill homeworld in hopes of unlocking the secrets trapped within Adira's mind. Back on the USS Discovery, Saru's efforts to help the crew reconnect with one another takes a surprising turn. But let's check out these new photos to see what episode 4 has in store for us. So for starters, we've got a shot of Burnham and Adira standing on what looks like the bridge of the Discovery based on the console that Burnham is standing in front of. And Adira isn't in her same uniform that she was in last week. Adira seems to be in just sort of like a one-piece blue, which is, they love blue on Discovery, don't they? All the uniforms are blue. Navy blue, dark blue. She's just got the zip up the front thing. So she hasn't got the whole, the epaulette shoulders with the whole United Earth Defence Force paraphernalia with the personal transporter thing. This is, I'm imagining, probably before they head off to their trip to Trill. In the next photo, we've got a shot of Adira. And she looks like she's in medbay because she's got a Trill symbiont in her, but she's not a Trill. There's maybe some bizarre things that are going on with her physiology maybe, or maybe Dr. Culber needs to give her a bit of an examination just to make sure that she's okay. They said it in the last episode that a couple of years ago was when Admiral Senatal was killed. I'm guessing that Adira was probably on board the ship maybe that he was on when he was killed, or whatever the circumstances were. There wasn't a Trill in the vicinity when he passed away. Therefore, the symbiont had to be passed on to a human, in this case Adira. Based on what we heard in last week's episode, yeah, she's having trouble accessing these memories. So Dr. Culber's giving her a bit of a once-over in this shot, just checking out what the situation is with the Trill symbiont within her. Everything's good. He's got a bit of a slight smile on his face, so I'm guessing there's no bad medical news to be passed on in this shot. He just looks like he's encouraging her, or just saying, yep, you got a full bill of health, all's good, away you go, here's your lollipop. And in the next photo, we've got Saru and we've got Dr. Pollard. It seems like she's attracted a bit of attention, so she's obviously got Adira's Trill situation with inside her has obviously sparked a bit more of attention than just the requirements of one chief medical officer. And we've got the two head doctors on board Discovery here, Pollard and Culber, both no doubt checking over Adira, making sure what the situation is, she's all good and ready to go before they head off to Trill perhaps in this shot. I wonder if Dr. Pollard's going to get as much screen time in this season as she did in Season 2. Obviously, she got a lot more screen time in Season 2 while Culber was inside the Mycelial network. But it'll be interesting to see whether she gets as much screen time now that she's got to contend with Culber back on the ship. Now, this is one of the shots which we saw in the opening, in the sneak peek, the little bit of a wrap-up of the sneak peek scene the other day, where we saw Dr. Culber doing a personal log. He's just going around, checking out all the crew, making sure everybody is fit and healthy. And I think he's a little bit worried about Detmer's state of mind in this shot. She's obviously going through a little bit of what seems like kind of PTSD kind of territory, perhaps. And he's just giving her a bit of a medical scan. She's on the skipping rope in the gym, just doing a bit of a workout. And he's sort of saying, hey, obviously you're nice and fit and healthy, but if you ever need to talk to somebody and your, mental faculties need a bit of venting or something like that, then he's there to help. So it'll be interesting to see what's going on with Detmer. We've sort of, obviously she had a bit of a crash in that first episode, banged her head, bit of a concussion, but she seemed to be given a clean bill of health and everything. So something's obviously going on with Detmer a little bit here, and we've yet to kind of get any more clues as to what is going on in that regard for her. So it'll be interesting to see whether that continues or not. Moving on to our next picture, it looks like the crew are having a bit of a fancy dinner. Obviously, we've got not only the notion of popcorn being handed out in this episode, in that last preview that we saw, but But we've also got what looks like all the crew at a bit of a banquet table having a pretty fancy dinner. Like, I don't know whether it's going to be Christmas or Thanksgiving or who knows what, but everybody seems to be sitting at a big table having a nice meal. They've got fancy flowers on the table. Georgiou's looking pretty schmick in her nice little lacy black leather number there. We've got Linus next to her, and there seems to be something going on with her and Linus. There was a scene where she went off with Linus in one of the last episodes, and obviously in the sneak peek and the trailer for episode 4, we've seen Linus passing Giorgio some popcorn in what looks like a movie night kind of scenario. And obviously we've got Linus sitting next to Giorgio at the dinner table here. Does this mean that maybe there's some romance brewing between Giorgio and Linus? That would be an interesting dynamic to see how that plays out. I like the Linus character. Every time he's on screen, there's a nice little bit of humour or joke or some sort of quirky moment that comes out of Linus. And obviously Giorgio is really good on those witty retorts and all that sort of stuff. So it could be interesting to see. And also based on Culber's face in this video, I think maybe his expression says it all. Maybe there's something weird brewing between Giorgio and Linus, and Culber's just gonna saying, what? Yeah, okay. So wait and see what that happens and how that plays out. We've got Owo and Stamets and Culber at the same dinner table. Obviously, I'm guessing this is part of a speech. Saru is standing at the head of the table. He's giving a bit of a motivational speech for the crew, and this obviously is like a cutaway shot of our main crew members looking on as Saru presents his big motivational speech. We've got Saru and Giorgio alone at this big dinner table. So obviously this was a kind of a fancy dinner of some kind for the main bridge crew. Perhaps everybody's gone off to do other things. Maybe it's the movie night scenario. Maybe Saru just stays behind a little bit longer, just have a bit of a one-on-one tete-a-tete with Giorgio. And here we got a nice full table dinner. So we've got the main bridge crew. We've obviously got Saru, Reese, Bryce, Nan, Tilly, Linus, Giorgio, Culber, Stamets, and Detmer all at the dinner table. Everybody having a nice meal, bit of team bonding, I imagine, here. And we've got Saru here with the telescope, which we saw him setting up in the last episode when he took command of the Discovery and he appointed Burnham as his first officer. He was setting up Prime Giorgio's old telescope. Maybe this ties in with him having a chat to Giorgio in that earlier shot we saw. In the next shot, we've got Burnham and Adira down on Trill. Now, it doesn't seem like the local inhabitants of Trill take to Burnham and Adira being on this planet too lightly, because there's a bit of a scuffle here looking at the shots from the trailer. We've got Burnham pulling a weapon. Maybe the Trill don't like humans just suddenly beaming down onto their planet, because there's a little bit of a scuffle that goes on here. Now, I'm not sure what's coming out of Burnham's hand here, whether it's some sort of holographic display she's holding up. Maybe this is a holographic depiction of some of the information that she's got regarding the burn, or maybe this is something to do with Admiral Tal. But yeah, obviously we've got her and Adira looking at some sort of swirly holographic image or something perhaps here in this shot. Obviously Adira and Burnham have landed on Trill, and we've got a delegation of Trill people here, all looking very religious and very kind of in their big robes and everything, come to greet them on the planet. Very pretty planet, Trill. It's like a nice botanical gardens kind of environment. So it'll be nice to see a bit of that location. It looks very, very pretty planet. Because all we've seen of Trill so far is a couple of shots from that DS9 episode where Jadzia Dax goes into the cave. So we know there's caves, but we haven't seen too much on the surface. Walking down a series of steps, maybe this is a shot that occurs before that last one we just saw with them meeting the delegation. Maybe they're coming down from having just landed their shuttlecraft, perhaps, coming down to meet the delegation of Trill. Obviously, we've got a couple of days to go before episode 4 comes out, but it'll be really cool to see how these images that we've just had a look at play into the episode. I'm looking forward to seeing the caves of Makala and and see what secrets they can unlock from the mind of Adira, and maybe we learn a bit more about Senator and what's going on with the Federation and Starfleet. Please, guys, don't forget to comment, to like, to subscribe, to share, to do all those sorts of things. Check out my merchandise, links in the description below, and check out some of my other videos if you haven't already seen them. And I will catch you guys later in the week for my review of Forget Me Not Episode 4. See you then.